I'm not.
He's not building.
Oh yeah. How was it?
We clicked all the pillar sections.
Hi everybody.
Perfect.
Nice to see everybody. My name is Natalia. I'm more of a doer than a speaker, but here I am, so maybe some grace. But it's nice to see everybody. Thank you for coming. So for y'all that don't know, this is Countercurrent, an event that we put together amongst friends in the Bay Area. We have art gallery, we have vendors, we have food, we have a little bit of everything. The main goal behind this event was to promote decolonial efforts that are happening here in the Bay Area. Yeah, because there's a lot of pretty bad shit going on across the world and here in this country. A lot of bad shit. I can take up the whole 20 minutes just talking about it, so I'm not going to do it. But, you know, so we wanted to sort of create a space that centers art and organizing and let people know that while shit is bad and it seems to be getting worse sometimes, it's really important that we create, that we organize, that we keep moving forward and that we don't give up and that we keep collectively acting together. So the sooner that's out, that's when everything hits the ground. So please use the space to get to know the artists, get to know the tables outside, the scenes, everybody. But yeah, please engage as much as you want. I know it's really hard to, be social, especially when you feel awkward. Doesn't matter. Nobody gives a fuck. Just talk to them. Try to learn one of these names or connect with some people so that, we can get involved and do something for our communities, okay? Does that sound good? Yeah? I have the beautiful pleasure of being an Indigenous person. So with that, I'm also going to do the land acknowledgement. I gotta read it because I don't remember all the shit, but yeah, I'll read it to y'all. I want to start off by saying that this call will be a call for land back. And while we do land acknowledgement, that's mostly for folks who don't remember that Indigenous people do exist, that we're here, and this land is taken from Indigenous people. So we're going to start off by acknowledging who this land is coming from. So Oakland sits in the territory of the Chief, which is part of the Stolen Land of the Territory on the right. So even for those of us who are not descendants of colonizers, it's really important to remember that we are all the beneficiaries of the ravaging of the homes of the Mother and the genocide of the people. So please keep that in mind while we're here celebrating on this space. And also, as a proud Indigenous person, I feel that it's my responsibility to emphasize that land acknowledgement is nothing and anything without the call for land back and Indigenous stewardship and sovereignty. So land acknowledgements are empty when they come from people who learned nothing from the massacre of our Indigenous communities and deny the ongoing genocides across the world for the people of Palestine, Congo, Sudan, Tigray, and people of the global majority of all over the world. Land acknowledgements are nothing when we allow the colonizers of this land to take away the right of homes, to take away the right for people to live on this land, and that criminalize poverty and don't provide access to Mother Earth and the land, which was our home originally, and is a home for everybody. There's no fucking world where it should be illegal to live on this land, and there's no fucking world where the colonizers have the right to take away our land to exist and to be people. And so with that being said, I want this land acknowledgement to call folks to action, to ask for land back, not just for Indigenous people here, but Indigenous people of Palestine, Congo, Tigray, and all of the oppressed people of the global majority. So free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free Tigray, and free people of all the global majority, and long live international global solidarity. So we got someone else who's going to talk. So up next we got a revolutionary poet by the name of my bad, y'all. So my friend Praise is going to come up next and talk to y'all. But thank you, everybody.
My name is Praise. I'm one of the volunteers here at Countercurrent. It's my pleasure to introduce Ray Marenco Quintana. He is a spoken word poet born in Redwood City, now residing in Oakland, California. He considers himself a free-based poet. due to his family owning and running the label Freebase Records and Freebase Studios. The term was coined as their name due to providing people with dope music and words that they can vibe to. Also referred to as random, this poet began his writing journey in the 5th grade after discovering Tupac's poetry book, The Rose That Grew from Concrete. The book was stolen from the school's library and he never looked back. And with that being said, please give a warm round of applause to Ray.
Thank you, praise God. We had one of the vendors that was coming in and they saw the whole crowd. I don't know anybody's name. If there's a person named Lynn, your food order is ready. Okay. Oh, there she goes. All right, Lynn. Go get your food, man, while it's hot. So, that little intro, I'm going to get right to it. This first poem is called The Sweetest Thing. It's called The Sweetest Thing. And it's about basically navigating through this world and not knowing how the fuck to do it. Like, I don't even got a kid yet, and I don't know how I'm gonna feed it or none of that shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like trying to view the world and think about how the hell I'm gonna do something in it, you know? So I'll go like this. I said, I know in order to reach these dreams, I must work to execute a vision. But how can I execute when I'm so confused by my existence? You see, my mind is militant. I was raised for the resistance, but no change will come without bloodshed. I could get my people out these chains if they'll listen. A masterful plan that could leave us all fed. But I could be walking us to a situation that could leave us all dead. I can hear Al Green asking me how to mend a broken heart. I can't find the answer. This is when the search ends and the smoking starts. Didn't even realize you were doing all this just to numb the pain. Tell me, baby, ain't you tired steady running from that pain? Well, my running shoes is all worn out, but the soul's intact, that'll never get torn out. So now I'm worrying about what Chance was worrying about. You can feel it's real by how I'm pouring it out. Give something to the ground, let the soil drink what I'm pouring out. To all my folks, I wish we could have a toast. Can't believe you living in the sky soaring now. I feel like Tip, how I wish I was living up there. Feeling stuck, but blessed by this life I've been given down here. The more I think, it really isn't fair. Ain't no winning out here. Ain't no way to survive unless you sinning out here. Ain't y'all tired of getting left behind by this system? They're robbing us blind, keeping the truth confined. You are defined by what is in your pockets and not what is in your mind. You know ain't no money and wisdom, but in due time we'll see if the dollar can feed you. Then there ain't no more food to eat on. We getting hungry, tired, and there ain't nothing left but the rich to feast on. We getting scared, really underprepared, losing sleep. Cause I feel like I'm losing the war. They trying to run up the score. I need to make my distractions decrease to make my profits increase more. I pray this pressure would release, but I fear one day my seed will be asking me, Pops, what was you doing when this shit was off in the sink? Did I get froze? Did I blink? How can I not care what my future child may think? Should I care if I had them living in the same nightmare as me? How can I expect my children to be a leader of a movement in which I did not lead? How can I expect my child to give their life for a cause in which I did not bleed? How can I expect my seeds to fulfill their potential if I'm not giving them what they need to succeed? House will be filled with love and they'll never be greeted with greed. Regardless of gender, I want 10 fingers and 10 toes. Although I never met you, I already know you are the sweetest thing I've ever known. Thank you. That's my poem called Sweetest Thing. It's a lot of shit we gotta deal with, man. I don't know who lives in Oakland out here. It'd be pretty many. You walk through the shit, and it's like you see a lot of stuff, but you also get a lot of love and a lot of culture out here. You know what I'm saying? And I wrote this next poem just because that's kind of an old poem. I kind of want to give y'all old shit, new shit. So this one's a little newer, and it was inspired by the township. Motherfucker was just a random street doing donuts. And and I was actually going through a writer's block, and I wrote this because I witnessed that. I said, I'm trying to see through the smoke, and all I'm smelling is burnt rubber. Honestly, I don't care about what you do as long as you don't hurt others. So I would not be sorry for my words, I would say it again, I did not stutter. Souls tied, no rubber, said it was clean, but she lied and burnt others. In the field where they yield sticks, grips with rubber, You could tell how they brandish what's their intent. Aside from taking sons from their mothers. Like you isn't one, like any disagreement isn't one we can get over. Well, I am the one, but not the one you can get over. Trying to give out the game, but won't overspeak. Like Sonny, you'll see when you get older. You'll begin to understand because time exposes. And it's hard to view these things and not grow colder. You see, I got a lot on my plate, a lot on my shoulders. Then I give it to God, given that He's the greatest secret holder. Poem. Yeah, I wrote that one. Thank you. I wrote that one. I love the last line because you got a lot of shit on us, and it's like sometimes you just gotta give it to God, man. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta recognize that God does love us, or the Creator loves us, and that's why we're here. You feel me? And we could be building God's army or do the opposite. So I like to think I want everybody to walk out of here feeling a little more tapped in with themselves, or tapped in with the community. And in order to do that, you gotta feel that emotion, love. You feel me? For yourself and for the people around you. So I wrote this poem because of that. I go through a lot of self-doubt, and this poem was basically showing my anxiety, and then at the end of it is showing I was tripping. I should have known that God loved me the whole time. And so it goes like this. I said, I know y'all can feel the difference, cause I can understand the depth, the gravity of the situation. I know it's weighing on you and got you feeling stressed. The walls caving in on you. The realization that no hero is coming, not a soul saving you. The thing you looking for always escaping you. All I wanted was a little happiness. My quest isn't for a saber tooth. Through the sadness and scraps I created a flavor maybe you could savor too. It's been my destiny since a child to get back to the fans. They the ones I must cater to. Whether you love me or love me not, always fills my brain, never is it vacant. If I were to apply it to flowers, I'd be pulling petals till they were naked. When I should have known the whole time so the beauty of God's creation would not be wasted. So I plant seeds hoping they will bloom again. My heart feeling empty. I guess I just been making room again. Home. So yeah, thank you. This is for my people. This next is for my people. We immigrants and my family, and this one was inspired by my Mexican side. I'm half Mexican, half Nicaragüense, and I got poems that kind of tailor to both sides. And this one is the Mexican one. So I said, let me just find it real quick in my Rolodex. I said, I got it. I said, if you from I said, if you from places we've been, you too would think about leaving. There's bombs coming from the roof, proof of the oppression that leaves us bleeding. So we run. All this running trying to find an escape. All this running, yet we've been out of shape. While this country keep taking, they've been out of shape. Yet they can't hand us a plate. Been here for years, yet we all out of place. We took their jobs like they ran out of space. This ain't our home cause we just rent out this place. And we ask for one thing, to make our communities feel safe. And y'all act like we took money out your safe. Y'all pass laws trying to make us fall, then just lightly pass it by us and give us images of riches to try and pacify us. All the while they slandering us. Now it's time to analyze how they advertise us. Now this is the type of thing that get my emotions to be played with. I don't want to hear anything out your mouth against immigrants unless you native. On the quest for J's and the color jade, they left us jaded. Flexing in my 96, but it was cool cause it's Mercedes. Cause it's German engineered, but if you buy fruits off the corner, they'll make you feel like the end is near. Now y'all don't like nutrition. Due to overduties and undue suspicions, we humans and that should be it. But y'all need persuading, it's been a fact. We been a factor. We work and y'all the benefactors. How does this connect? My grandmother crossed water that went up to her neck. With a baby on her shoulders, that's why I got the world on mine. When she made frijoles a full course, and scrubbing white people's floors was the main source of income. We've been through hell and then some. Oh, yeah, thank you. And, I I got this, I know if y'all tapped in with the culture, Day of the Dead is very big to us, and I did this event for Day of the Dead. It was called like it was like this thing, it was weird. Everybody was at an altar and we all said our poems at the same time. So it was kind of crazy, like I never did that before. We're like, I'm saying poetry, he's saying poetry, she's saying all at the same time. But I guess it was just so the ancestors could really hear us. And I hope they hear me with this one too. I said, a sad day, it will be the witness laying me to rest. But I'll be proud of those in attendance, showing we was really rocking to the death. In this life, y'all kept me strong, although at times I failed and was as weak as his flesh. But as you stand here over my corpse, just know this isn't the only time we will connect. We're gonna be together not only in this lifetime, but also in the next. Or at least, this is my wish that I hope God grants. I'm just a seed that my family took the time to plant. So I reach for my roots, cause I know they see me standing here overwhelmed. To our family, you was at the helm. Now I'm looking at your picture, looking back at us to show how you were only mortal. I pray my ancestors will use this poem as a portal to enter into our realm. The way I'm feeling this loss, you would think that I was at fault. But I will not quit, I will not succumb to that thought. I know my people have fought, so I will not falter. My life won't alter yours till I end up on that altar. And that's what got me fed up. But I believe in it, so I show it by how I put my bread up. But I won't hold a grudge, so just know when you got me right there with them candles lit up, just know I'm gonna be right there telling you to keep going and not give up. Cause we wouldn't be where we are if our people gave in at the frontera. My people stood up strong, showing no blanco banderas. You could call this my calavera, cause this is my poem from the skull. Without you, it's been gray. Some can say it's been dull. But your life is worth celebrating, so we paint the town with marigolds. Poem. Thank y'all so much for the time. I really, really appreciate it. I know the mic is hot now, so whoever coming up, be careful. We might need to put a glove on.
Give it up for Freebase Poet. Give it up. Well, again, thanks everyone for being here. There's lots of beautiful words, being said. There's lots of beautiful, when you look at these pieces, what brings them all together is that they speak, whether with words or with the ideas that they have. And those ideas that underline this event is decolonization, liberation, and part of that, whether there's words or not, is the music that speaks so loud. And so keeping cultures alive through the music and the artwork is such an important, beautiful part. And so I have the pleasure of introducing my friend Camelia Boutros to come up here and play some wonderful music. I'll let Cam tell you who she is, but give it up for Camelia Boutros.
Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Woo! Let's see how we're doing. Can you guys hear this? Is it okay? So thank you, Sean. Thank you, everybody who's organizing this and who has been organizing it. I think I participated in one of these a year ago, and it was really wonderful, and those connections really influenced the following year. So I have high hopes for what this space does for people. My name is Camelia. I don't usually start off by talking about a song. I usually go right into it and let the music speak for itself. But I think this one warrants a little bit of introduction. I'm going to perform a song called Maltani. Are there any Arabic speakers in the audience? No? Okay, so maybe there's one, I'm not seeing them. But Maltani is the unofficial Palestinian anthem. The words are by a Palestinian poet named Ibrahim Tukan, and the music was written by a Lebanese composer named Muhammad Fleifel. And since my parents are from Palestine, Lebanon, it speaks to me. But that's not why I'm performing it necessarily. Performing it because yesterday I played a fundraiser for a family from Gaza who are in the mission. They run a coffee shop in the SF mission. And I see people nodding their heads. Yeah, some of you know who this is. And the business owner and the matriarch of the family requested that I learn this song and sing it, which is a complete honor to do, and also kind of daunting. I didn't want to fuck it up. So so that was maybe a week ago. And I called my mom, who was born in Jerusalem and is from Beit Nabela, which is one of the villages that was destroyed in 1948. And I asked her if she would help me with the pronunciation. And she was like, oh, Maltani, like I love that song. Every time she hears the name of it, even before I was asked to sing it, she starts singing it. It's really cute. Like, same thing happens with other Palestinians of that generation. If you even mention the song, they start going, Maltani, like they start singing it. So she worked with me on the pronunciation. I worked on a translation. And my goal with the translation was to capture the emotional meaning, not the literal meaning. So you're going to hear part of this poem in Arabic, and then my interpretation to English. And so my mom worked on this pronunciation with me. She goes like, hey, you gotta fix this, your accent's a little like funky here, whatever. And then finally she was like, okay, good, you're good to go. And she was like, God, I love this song, it's so beautiful. And then she went, isn't it so sad we have to sing resistance songs? And I hope that one day we get to sing these songs, looking back at them, looking back at a time, just honoring the people who passed for the cause. So with that in mind, I'm going to sing the song, but can we please start with a moment of silence for those martyred in Gaza and the West Bank. Land of mine, home of mine, I've heard stories of the splendor, of the beauty and the wonder in your hands, golden rain. I can hear the children laughing, I can hear the oceans crashing in your wind, in your wind. your head to the sky till the heavens recognize land of mine, land of I also want to honor my teachers, the first people who taught me how to play the oud, which is a Palestinian Arab instrument. I learned it in the West Bank, in Nablus, and it was such a privilege and so fun and joy and everything to learn from them. And also they taught me through such austerity. I think I mentioned this a lot in my shows, of which I'm usually joined by Michael and Sean, who they play with me in the full band arrangement. But I often mention that my teachers, it's frequent that when they try to go on tour, when they try to leave the West Bank, you have to go through the Israelis, through the IDF, they control the borders. And often they'll not let them go on tour. All they'll do is something like they'll take their instruments and snap them in half and then say like, okay, you can go on tour now. So it was an honor and a privilege to learn from them, and I really feel that, it was, I got my ode from Palestine. I held it in my lap on the plane all 14 hours back to the United States after it was swabbed for bombs and chemicals and whatever else you might hide inside an instrument. But so that's the instrument that I really connected with, and I modeled this instrument after it. This is a fretless 12-string guitar, tuned and customized to sound a little bit like an oud. Sound a lot like an oud, but also like its own thing. Like fretless, twice the scale of a normal acoustic oud. And I think what really showcases the Arabic sound, the oud sound, is the Asim improvisational style. I'll play a little bit of that for you. اقرأ في تاريخ غريب. If you follow, I will lead you home. I wish we didn't have to go. Hey love, it's not so bad. I don't wanna see you look too sad. It all ends except for love, and that's what our world is made of, you know. I wish I didn't have to go. لحظة حبيبي أعطيني قلبي أول جعلي خدني معك خد شمعتي وفجر الكعدد ورجعك معي. I will be okay. Promise I won't drink the night away. انت اعطيني نار لازم روح. I'll carry it far, you know. I wish you didn't have to go. لحظة حبيبي أعطيني قلبي أول جعلي خدني معك خد شمعتي وفجر الكعدد ورجعك معي. أعطيني قلبي أول جعلي خدني معك خد شمعتي وفجر الكعدد ورجعك معي. Thank you.
Hey, Boutros. It's funny to like not be singing harmonies on that song. I was like, ready, but. So part of this event is the art and the themes that underline the art. But a big part of this event is those putting those themes into action. And this next group who will be doing a few things for us, poetry and danzante and different things, is a huge source of inspiration in so many ways. And so, you got poverty scholars, poets, and just very inspirational people who are putting these things into action. So, round of applause for Poor Magazine. Here's empty space, folks.
And again, beautiful way to start with the Isochili Cuica, with the Floricanto, with the word and the poets and the poesía. Again, lifting up the prayers for all indigenous folks fighting for the land, the Palestinian, the folks in the Amazonas, in Mexico, the Huichol, the Purépecha, the Mixtecos, all indigenous people. And so we're here, we're going to offer some corporal prayers, pre-colonial. And again, this is pre-colonial prayers. They come from Mexico, Tenochtitlan, from the Ciudad de Mexico. So just acknowledge too that we have Maestro Alvaro and Jefa Irma here with us, some of our community leaders, elders. And again, just thank everyone who has organized this beautiful event, which is also a way that our people used to do it too, that we used to call it tianguis, right, a marketplace. So also support all these beautiful artists who put so much art and effort in what they create and what they give back into the community. Again, changing that, mass producing what they sell you in Walmart. In these places, they have no energy, they have no meaning, right? So acknowledging all these beautiful artists who are sharing the art. So we're just going to share a couple of prayers, and then we're going to jump into Isochili Cuica, which is some spoken word and poesía. Oh, Mateo.
Such an honor to be alive, huh? Anyway, I'm going to be short and sweet with my slam bio. And I'll start off like this. I am the black woman that I have become. Now, my only request is that you don't call me a queen or a princess. I know it might sound strange to y'all, but I'd like to refer to myself as an outlaw. For you see, I stand outside his law, and despite it all, I'm still standing tall.
Thank you. My name is LeJay Harper, and mine is definitely sweet, but it's a little bit long. I just want to say that after being unhoused on the streets of Wood Street, one of the resident leaders, in December I became permanently housed at Homefulness. And that's rent-free because we don't believe that Mama Earth is what? All right, so bear with me. I'm still learning with my slam bio. LeJay from the whole Bay, because I was born in Oakland, but I sat in cells from 5 counties. So you can say I'm a real Bay-destrian. The town is where my roots are grounded. Kicked out at 17, I learned that a house has walls and foundation, but my home was whatever porch I found to sleep that night. Light skin, never fitting in, cause my blood battling inside. Ancestors were the enslaved and the oppressors. So I settled into the chaos. Fuck the system. 9 to 5, all my time. 5 to 9, still on the grind, cause trying to make rent as a baby mama of 2 took up all my time. And once overwhelming depression took over my mind, there was the sheriff saying, get out and you better be gone by 9. Activists, loud ass, pretty, it can make you cry from laughter. Politically educated and don't get shit twisted. I'm an acquired taste, cause I done been through some shit and my trauma ain't sweet. It's the scars that mark my journey for roads not to cross. Struggle into determination and victimization into passion. My family inheritance wasn't grandma's money. It was 3rd generation single mother addicted. Just trying to be something, legacy, have something, abundance. I walk guided by my ancestors, respected through my art, and my commitment is to us. I share hope.
Muteado silencio presente y me alegro. Nuestras palabras son nuestras balas, nuestro lápiz es nuestra arma. Muteado silencio, our words are bullets, and our pen is our gun. So sit back and relax, because we're going to drop by your minds. We didn't cross the border.
Mic drop.
Literally.
Dale, muteado. Buenas tardes. Well, I'd like to introduce myself with Irma. We're traditional dancers from Mexico City. And we're now be part of this beautiful community of Homefulness, Pure Magazine. We're residents of Homefulness. And just we're here to express our tradition and dejarles saber que somos revolucionarios. O Meteo.
Israel Munoz! Come on, baby. Come on.
You're trying to hide behind the camera.
Come on, Poppy. He's got you.
Buenas tardes. ¿Dónde está mi gente indígena, black and brown? This is for all the people looking us up and down, and they don't know why we come to this town. We come to take back our own town.
That's right.
Okay, Uncle Broken Cloud, is he out there? Cloud. So we just a little slice of the powerful village of houseless, poor, and indigenous, black and brown, and disabled, elders, children, youth, and babies that make up Homefulness.
And there's a price on my head because I don't got money for a roof or a bed. Do you see us houseless mamas and daughters sleeping in those tents? That's a question, relative. Do you see us houseless mamas and daughters sleeping in those tents?
Yes.
That's because we don't got money for the rent. Yeah, I'm a poverty scholar, that houseless mama, that houseless daughter. All those people you don't want to be, never want to see, look away from me. What you going to do, Oakland, Berkeley, Frisco? Arrest me? We're in your city. Yeah, the revolution ain't about I, it ain't about me. My pronoun is we. So you might want to understand, I go in persona all the time because in this occupied, stolen land, people don't look at houseless bodies like mine. And so I'm invisibilizing that lie for all of you to see right before your eyes. And so maybe you won't keep perpetrating the violent act of looking away. I normally rock my jailhouse attire because me and my poor mama did jail time for the poverty crime of being houseless in this occupied indigenous house. I'm the melanin-challenged daughter of a strong, equitable, equal mama, for without whom there would be no me. A mama soltera and a welfare queen. I'm going to read a quick piece. I know Uncle Moot has a piece too, but this is in honor of all the mamas. And I see Uncle Cloud made it here. We got another powerful resident of homefulness. But this one's dedicated to all our mamas who aren't here. My mama G, for without whom there be no me. Lori McElroy, co-founder of Homefulness. Kathy Galvez, queen from Echo Parque in LA, so-called LA. Green Eyes. So many more relatives, so many more. And so when we hold our ancestors, I have to ask you, in addition to recognizing that we are on this stolen land, recognize that there are stolen people and that they're right among you. This is for all the mamas who aren't here, who I stand shoulder to shoulder to, and my beautiful sister aunties right here. My sister Leger and my beautiful sister Auntie Frances Moore, June Bug and Queen Nandi and Vivi T and Perlu Bungen and so many more who aren't here today. Mama's in a corner, huddled up in terror, hiding from the scam lord, the warden, the soldiers, the migra, the police, the bombs, and the lawyer. Mama's in the car trying to remember to look at the stars while the violent memories harden into a scar. Mama's on the park bench trying to remember where her babies went. Trying to remember what he said when her man left. When those nightmares meant. Where her dreams are kept. I tried to hold Mama, to cajole Mama, to whisper, "It's okay, Mama," to scream her life into another day, Mama. But she could barely hear, coming from the screams of her own fear. "It's okay, Mama. It's another day is here. It's okay, Mama. We can rest here." But we never did. And then they took me, her kid. And she stopped trying, buried in so much depression, what was left but beg for dying. But there was no time for crying, no privilege of stopping, because unlawful detainers and police cars and bombs were mobbing. Mama said, "We gotta go. Start walking. Take what you can hold, because bombs keep dropping and food ain't coming. And this war on the poor from Turtle Island to Palestine ain't stopping." And so a shout out to our beautiful babies in all of these colonial spaces who are dying every day, from Turtle Island to Palestine, from Sudan to West Papua to Kashmir to Kanaki, to all the spaces, to right here in West Oakland, East Oakland, LA. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, beautiful crowd. I want to end with Uncle Cloud, just saying a couple words, Uncle.
I've been walking this earth for 70 years now, and it's a beautiful thing to see such imagination and illustration of miscegenation in the world of power. And let's all hope that we can continue this move forward and never backward. And we can keep going.
Last Poverty Scholarship announcement, PSA. Come join us at Homefulness 2, 7600 Black Arthur. When we poor people are trying to build a Homefulness 2, but we don't got dough because Poor Magazine is po. So we need your dough, though. Come on through. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook.
Mental advocacy groups and grassroots Philippine solidarity groups, among others. And with that being said, please welcome Oakland.
Hi, thank you. I'm really happy to be here. Hi, my name is Abby. I'm with Oakland, the Oakland Committee for Human Rights in the Philippines. We are a recently formed organization that, like Chris said, is part of an international advocacy network for the people's struggle in the Philippines. And we saw the need to form that organization here in the vibrant and increasingly militant atmosphere of activism here in the East Bay, where there are many different struggles to learn from and support, right? So for months, we've all been taking to the streets. We've been chanting things like, from Palestine to the Philippines. Stop the U.S. war machine. Thanks, Miranda. And so, from Palestine to the Philippines, stop the U.S. war machine. When we say that, why specifically are we invoking the Philippines in connection to Palestine? Given that the U.S. war machine has its claws sunk in all over the globe, why should we look to the Philippines for guidance in our struggle for liberation? In part, it's because the Philippines, like Palestine, has incredibly intense militarization. There are 9 official U.S. military bases all over the entire country, and the U.S. effectively has free reign over the Philippines, trampling their sovereignty for their warmongering with China. And each year, the U.S. military and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or the AFP, conduct these shoulder-to-shoulder war games that involve bombing and firing indiscriminately on the Philippine sea and countryside. Now, the U.S. claims that these war games are necessary to show solidarity with the Philippines and in the name of preparedness and readiness for the war that they're stoking with China, which nobody wants, except maybe weapons manufacturers. And in reality, the Filipino people are already experiencing this war. These costly exercises destroy the environment and the livelihoods of the fisher folk and farmers who are displaced and traumatized by the violence which can last for weeks. And this displacement fuels an ongoing crisis in the Philippines where thousands of Filipinos leave the country each day. And the high presence of U.S. military personnel in the Philippines is also a major source of violations of the rights of Filipino women, children, and queer folks. For example, Jennifer Laude, a Filipino trans woman, was murdered by U.S. Marine Joseph Scott Pemberton while he was stationed at Subic Naval Base, which is the largest overseas U.S. military base in the world. Pemberton was pardoned of his crime by President Duterte and released and allowed to return to the U.S. and now lives in Hawaii. Shame. And this really goes to demonstrate the level of dominance that the U.S. has over the Philippines and Philippine society. Since the Philippines was granted independence by the U.S. after World War II, there have just been a series of U.S. puppet presidents who have allowed more and more of the majority of the Philippines' land to be owned by foreign corporations, particularly mining and agribusiness companies. And these foreign companies have plundered the Philippines' natural resources, decimated the natural environment, and fueled that displacement of the Philippines' indigenous people from their ancestral homelands. And when the people in the countryside rise up to resist this, the AFP, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, violently retaliates against them. The widespread system of repression makes the Philippines the most dangerous country in Asia for environmental defenders, human rights activists, and journalists. For example, in 2019, Brandon Lee, a Chinese-American activist and journalist from San Francisco, was living in the Philippines working with the Cordillera People's Alliance, protesting a massive mining operation on indigenous land. After weeks of trying to threaten and intimidate Brandon, the 54th Infantry Battalion of the AFP attempted to assassinate Brandon, shooting him outside his home in front of his 7-year-old daughter. This unit of the AFP is one of many that has received funding from the billions of dollars the U.S. has poured into the Philippines in military aid. And though Brandon survived, the U.S.-funded bullets from the attempt on his life remain lodged in his body. You can actually meet Brandon and hear him speak more about his case and his continued activism this Monday in San Francisco at the Philippine Consulate at the People's State of the Nation Address. And if you come to People's State of the Nation Address, or PSONA, you'll see how all of this exploitation, oppression, and violence results in an extraordinarily powerful people's movement. Oakchurch is just one of many local organizations engaged in the fight for Filipino people's rights and genuine sovereignty. Here in the U.S., in the belly of the imperialist beast, we have a responsibility and an opportunity to strike at the heart of the machine that demands this violence. We formed the Oakland Committee for Human Rights in the Philippines to educate our community about the realities of this violence and to assert that human rights go beyond Western ideas of individual rights. They include our collective human rights to sovereignty, self-determination, and resistance to occupation by any means necessary. Thanks. We are at the back. We have a table. Come check us out. We have flyers and zines about Brandon Lee if you'd like to learn more about his situation. We're on Instagram at Oakchurch. That's OAKCHRP, Oakland Committee for Human Rights in the Philippines. And yeah, we have a bunch of educational materials. We have some upcoming events. You can check us out. And yeah, feel free to come chat. We're back across from that house of Beacon. Thanks so much for having us, everyone.
Big shout out to Oakchurch for showing up, and Brandon Lee, if y'all haven't connected with him, and Oakchurch, please follow them, please talk to them outside. Really wonderful people. I've met them organizing a lot, so please follow up with them and get to know them. Speaking of resisting, because that shit also goes on here, really close to home, just around the corner. Up next, we have another group of folks who I hope y'all listen to, y'all know about, but please welcome up People's Park from Berkeley.
It was supposed to be a group of all, but we also forgot that Saturdays is when we do harm reduction, so most of the crew is out on Telegraph right now.
Shout out to
also, we do that every Saturday, 12 to 2, and we've been doing it for years. We go out and hand out harm reduction and basic needs supplies, and we also do gardening and potluck. So if y'all are free on Saturdays and want to be in the community, that's what we're up to. I assume everyone here has heard about People's Park, but in case you haven't, it was/is a park in Berkeley that was taken from the university by community members and held for the last 55 years, on and off, but most of the last 55 years as community land, with people making art in the space and serving food in the space, building kitchens, building free stores, building a stage and hosting concerts, hosting community events. And in January, UC Berkeley brought in 1,400 police and private security guards from across the state and conducted a midnight raid and arrested everyone that was there. Well, not everyone. They arrested us at random, which we have them on record saying, which is super cool. And they built a literal border wall around the park. It's made out of storage containers with barbed wire, or razor wire, let me say the difference. And they've done all of this, in their words, to expand university housing, which is ridiculous from many points, but most importantly, the real reason that they're doing this is because it was a space where people could radically organize against the university and against the state at large. It was a space where Black Panthers gathered and worked. It was a space where planning for the Occupy movements happened. It was a space where the anti-war movement gathered. And up until the day that we were raided and everyone was arrested and they bulldozed our kitchen, we were still hosting like how to use Narcan, how to use riot shields when you're at a protest, how to use, like how to take tear gas off your body, like really radical things that you can't really host in a lot of spaces. And the university didn't like that, and they wanted it gone because it has been the thorn in their ass for the last 55 years. And yesterday, the new chancellor of UC Berkeley, I'm going to try to play the audio tape into the microphone, but we strolled by on campus and ran into the new chancellor giving a speech to a bunch of old people asking for their money and to will their estates to them when they die. And this is what he had to say about Palestine.
We can't do like last semester. The people that want to make a strong statement at our university, whether you agree with them or not, if you want to make a strong statement, you actually want helicopters overhead. You actually want zip ties. You want to be on the news. That's a win.
Yeah, so if you couldn't quite hear it, that's the chancellor of UC Berkeley, who started his job 19 days ago. So this is his first month on the job, saying that protesters want helicopters overhead, want to be zip-tied, and want to end up on the news, and that's a win for us. Yeah, shame. People's Park and like all of that community was super involved in the occupation at the UC Berkeley campus in solidarity with Palestine. And I would like to present the idea that that type of direct action needs to be happening more. It needs to be happening again. And people should be working with their friends and with the people that they trust to take steps that are directly confronting the wheels of, you know, all the bullshit that this university does right in the backyard of the Bay. Especially with the likelihood of Kamala Harris either being VP or president. That shit is all coming back to the Bay. Both of her parents met as Black Panthers at UC Berkeley, which is a crazy generational flip. From Black Panther to working for Joe Biden. But, like, I don't know, I just really want people to start getting involved in ways that aren't happening through the internet for many reasons, primarily that that's not a safe space for people to communicate. and I wanted to bring up a few things that happened very recently. Part of the bullshit at People's Park is that they have 24-hour private security guards posted up around the whole park. And last week, one of the homies got assaulted by one of them. He got shoved by one of them, and then the other two grabbed him and tried to like restrain him like they were gonna arrest him, even though they're not police. And the cops waited for him outside the hospital and picked him up and arrested him on terrorism charges.
Hey! What the?
They haven't submitted the ticket, but the charges he was arrested for was felony intent to terrorize.
And now they're following.
So that's just like, I think a lot of people don't realize how violent Berkeley PD is because we're comparing it right next to SFPD and Oakland PD, which are like known across the state, if not the nation, as the most fucked up police departments. But like, I just want to point out this shit is happening in every city, and the crackdown against any form of like protest is really fucked. And there is more videos that I'm gonna try to share of that chancellor speaking, also talking shit on free speech. He was saying free speech in the classrooms isn't like allowed. He was saying that People's Park, like basically talking shit on the park, and he was saying, talking shit on the protests that happened in 2017 when Milo Yiannopoulos was brought to the campus, which turned into some pretty exciting riots, to say the least. The news had a lot of fun with that. Sorry, I didn't write everything in order, so I'm like going off a checklist of points. Oh yeah, the solidarity between People's Park and Palestine. I went off topic there. People's Park was actually formed, so to speak, if not rescued, I guess, in reaction and retaliation against the wars, not just the Vietnam War, but all of the wars that the U.S. was conducting at the time. And the day that the fences were torn down that led to the riot, that's most well known for those pictures of tear gas helicopters dropping tear gas over Sproul Plaza, which is like UC Berkeley's main spot. The rally that day was actually pre-planned to address issues of the Middle East, including apartheid in Palestine. And they gave up the second half of their rally in support of in giving space for people at People's Park to come and talk about what just happened with the police raid that morning. And that solidarity has continued to today. And similarly, seeing the way that people in Palestine have directly confronted their colonizers, and seeing the way that people in Bangladesh and Bolivia and across the world, people are directly confronting their colonizers and their authoritarian governments, it really inspires me, and I hope to see that happening more here in the Bay and generally across the world. And if you'd like to become involved in shit happening specifically in Berkeley, come talk to us. On Instagram, we post lots of things, not all directly related to the park. It's just People's Park Berkeley. You can see events that are happening, direct action that's happening, and generally keeping up on some of the larger bullshit that UC Berkeley does to not just the city, but to the whole Bay in terms of gentrifying the space and pushing poor people out and trying to create a utopia of educated individuals. Yeah, that's my list of things. Woo!
Alright, y'all, this is our last speaker for today. I'm happy to introduce one of our poets, another revolutionary poet. If we can welcome Elizabeth Jimenez Montelongo.
share some poetry with you. If there is mention of colonial violence, past and present. Alright, tongues, pens, and brushes. Spanish was beaten out of our grandmothers and grandfathers, slapped hands, spanked dignity, minds whipped into the next few generations. Long before that, our grandmothers, grandmothers, and our grandfathers' grandfathers' indigenous languages were cut out with their tongues, artwork cut off with their hands, dances cut off with their feet, poems replaced by false history, painted books burned from their hearts, minds whipped into the next few generations, and our blood still runs. Where were our parts and bodies thrown? Only sacrifice victims are easily found. Murderers, thieves, and investors, telling the story of those they enslaved. Historians and reporters chew it up to regurgitate later, and they keep on chewing. The first cut off our parts, killed our bodies, and the others continue to pick our wounds with their pens. But now I have a pen too, and a brush. Here in the pile of parts, a tongue and hand became a seed, grew to be a flowering tree with fruit. Here I am dropping to the ground to rot, enrich the earth, for more trees and plants, for more flowers and fruit, flowers and songs, flower songs, fluttering like leaves in the wind, becoming butterflies. You know, when our ancestors disappeared, they turned into us, disguised with new skin and blood, new words on these tongues. Languages shape reality. Our reality needs a shape, a circle. The truth has many sides, cultures in the mind, homelands in the heart. Tomorrow will be back yesterday. I saw you tomorrow and you'll see me as I was when we come around again. A pen in one hand, a brush in the other. Red and black ink, pictures from the past telling the story of tomorrow. Words from today telling the truth of yesterday. Home is in the heart, culture is in the mind, a circle has no sides. The truth needs a shape, a language, a tongue. Take a pen, take a brush, feel the truth, pick your words, let them chew. Find your parts, put them back. Remember the memories in your bones, in your blood, entwined serpents of DNA. Shed the old skins. Hearts, minds, feet, hands, tongues demand attention. Bring our minds to the coming generations. Say the word, say it now. Watch the tree grow. Woo! Thank you. So I have 3 more poems that I just wanted to say really quick. There's some reference to the fact that I'm also a visual artist, and I have some 4 pieces of original art on the wall up here, and a table with some prints and my little poetry micro chapbook while I'm waiting for my books to be published, if you'd like to look at those later. And my next poem, this one was written during the pandemic, and it's called Human Sacrifice in 2020. And a lot of my poems mention sacrifice because I'm Mexican Chicana. My ancestors are indigenous to this continent from the area that's now Mexico. And a lot of what I hear about the history of my people is all oh, the Mexicas, the Aztecs sacrifice people, and it's all talk about sacrifice and blood, if that's the only things that that mattered. And it really overlooks all the colonial violence that was done to our people, and overlooks all the contributions that that indigenous cultures have made. And so this is Human Sacrifice in 2020. Let me tell you about human sacrifice. It rarely happens at the top of a pyramid. Those incidents are rare. Let me tell you about human sacrifice. It isn't as dramatic as movies make it out to be. Human sacrifice doesn't rip out human hearts, but those who are paid to rip out animal hearts and pack flesh for human consumption are often packed flesh, sharing unventilated factory space, like the animals living a life of death in neat rows before their slaughter. The workers are packed in, sharing that deadly virus for less than $15 per hour, so a chicken can sell for less than $15. Sacrificed. They are sacrificed, so others can eat burgers and steaks snugly in their homes, while those who pack the meat sleep snugly in coffins. Sacrifice victims. Human sacrifice doesn't need a sharp obsidian knife. Sometimes the wound is self-inflicted, from working long hours by choice, a choice between starvation and working to death. Sacrifice victims. Human sacrifice is a sharp knife, digging into a single mother working long hours to pay the rent and pick up a food box. Her work becoming wealth for those with a sharp flint on their foreheads. because a flint in the head is valued higher than 2 flints in the hand. Labor and sweat, tears and death, a sacrifice victim. Human sacrifices don't need blood streaming down the sides of pyramids. Usually the blood stays in the body, very neatly, heart stopped passively. They leave the heart, they eat the spirit, the energy, the creation. Cannibals eating soul, a sacrifice. Human sacrifices are voluntary. Take the land, demand degrees. Threaten with hunger, dangle $1. Summon the landless, leave them degreeless. When the hunger comes, victims line up for the $1. Victims line up for sacrifice. What they leave behind is stuff and wealth for the boss, dust and tears for their children. Sacrifices. I have to tell you, someone always benefits, and that person already has benefits. I have to tell you, there aren't always witnesses, but the sacrifices happen in public. I have to tell you, historians don't record the bodies, they record the GDP. Did you know it's an honor to be an essential worker? Did you know the wealthy and powerful forego this grand honor? A sacrifice. Human sacrifices are essential, and essential workers are sacrificed. Essential beings are the moving parts of a big machine of creation and progress and wealth. Disposable parts. Essential workers thanked and discarded, sacrificed and replaced. What an honor. Our thoughts are with the family. Our thoughts are with our quarterly profits and on to dinner with our own family. Lies dripping from ink, ink dripping from lips, lips dripping from faces, unmasked faces, masking everything, faces without souls. Soul is earned from the sun, S-U-N, the sun that rises. We knew for 13,000 years it doesn't rise. Soul is earned by the sun, S-O-N, the sun that rises and will continue to rise. Soul is earned by the daughter that rose and rose and rose and rose. Roses for the dead, roses for the sacrifice, roses for the victims of freedom, roses for the freedom protectors. Sold false parts in the show. Roses for the water protectors that won even when it didn't show. Roses for the sacrificed to America first. Roses for children killed in bombings. Roses for mothers killed in raids. Roses for fathers killed in combat. Roses for essential workers. Roses for the dead. Human sacrifices. Sacrificed in a sea of pendejadas, in waves of mentiras, in a lluvia de babosadas. Murderers. Murderers build pyramids, a tower of Baba, a fetish of hierarchy, a false idol, on that foundation of sand. Crown it with stolen gold, guard it on unceded land, as domestic terrorism gets overlooked, as much as international terrorism gets overlooked. We only look when it has a brown face and fights for an idea that doesn't benefit a not brown face. Build it there, overlooking injustice, overlooking abuse, overlooking fate, overlooking blind eyes wide open, until it hits home, until the earth shifts under our feet, until the underworld nips our toes, until it all comes crumbling down.
Woo!
Thank you. 2 more. This one is called The Seat at the Pincha Table. It's about that whole idea, like saying that people want a seat at the table to like share ideas and input and ask for what our communities need. But that seat at the table is always either just to say that we had a seat, usually to people that are like basically sold out. And it's really not like enough anymore. So here it is, a seat at the pincha table. As if we want a seat at the table, a seat at your pincha table, a table made of trees you chop down, a table plopped down upon stolen land, plates of gold stolen from invaded land, gold that cost our ancestors' blood. We don't want a seat at that table. Fuck that table. We don't need to ask for a seat. In our own home, wherever we sit is a circle. We don't even need a table. And if there is a table, we'll be the one seated on it. And you can ask us for a seat. We'll probably say no, because we know you by now. We don't want a seat at your bloody table, where you plotted to chop us into pieces, crack our bones, suck our marrow. The blood is still dripping off your chin. We don't want to sit with you, talk with you, watch you try to eat us, watch you try to eat each other. In fact, we're throwing out your table. First, we take our bones off the plates, out of your hands, out of your mouths, reaching into your throats and pull them out of your stomachs. Yes, we know you swallowed our bones. Next, we put our flesh and skin and hair back on our bones. Smack across the face with golden plates. Wake up. Turn that table upside down. Break the legs. Chop it up a bit to build our stage. We'll walk across what's left of your table. Speak truth on your table. Do a zapateado on your table. Now it's our table. We don't want to take a seat. We want to dance and stomp, yell and sing and speak. We don't want a seat. Yeah, thanks for offering. That's cute, but hell no, we don't want a seat. You'll wish you'd given us a pinche seat back when we may have settled for just that. Too late. We don't want a pinche seat no more.
Hey.
Thank you. And then last one, another one that mentioned sacrifice. I didn't pick these all together on purpose today, but I just realized I read a lot about that. The sacrifices, past and present, are usually sacrifices of people made by colonial imperialist forces. So this is called Sacrifice Me to feed me white rice cereal. Get the diseases started early. Doctors got bills to pay. Keep me in my seat, keep me snacking on sugary snacks, sugary drinks, legal crack for kids. Fast food in the school cafeterias, vending machines in every high school. Recess. Who wants to play on concrete, not a tree in sight? On a playground with no swings. One slide for 6 dozen kids. You have to ask if you want to use a ball, but they ran out anyway. You want to brainwash our kids in public schools painted like jails, and you call me sick? Sacrifice me more quickly now. Face it, you still want my heart. You raped, killed, enslaved, tortured, no exceptions for babies and little girls. And you still do. But that's okay with you, because we ripped each other's hearts out. Supposedly. That makes us bad, makes an excuse. You ripped out my heart, and it was easy. As easy as ignoring me, as easy as excluding me, as easy as telling me you're better than me, saying your mom is better than mine. All lies clearly. As easy as telling me you won. So now you can feed off my milk, guilt-free, drink my blood, wear my brown skin, hang my long hair on your wall as a trophy because you sacrificed me. In your dreams. Wake up, I'm not dead yet. My long hair is seeping into your walls. My skin has attached itself to yours. My blood and milk gave you life, gave you lengua y corazón. You chopped me into pieces, and now I surround you. Wake up, I'm not dead yet. I got my body back, shoved my heart back in my chest. They picked the mierda from my brain. Your God has not swallowed me. Here I am, speaking echoes of your sacrifice. You sacrificed me. And my body became the earth, became the plants, became animals, became you. Woo! Thank you for listening to my poetry. Again, I'm Elizabeth Jimenez. If you want a book, I have one for $10 and some art. Thank you.
All right, give it up again for Elizabeth one more time. As we conclude the program for countering this event, I want to say first off, thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you for all the participants. Again, it can be dangerous to make art that is decolonial, that is challenges, capitalism, these things. It can be dangerous to organize like the groups that you heard. And so, in being here and celebrating something that can, lose you a job, can lose you work for standing up against Zionism or whatever it may be. And so it's an honor for myself to be here in this space, that you are all here, so I really appreciate it. Everyone has put so much work into the beautiful artwork that's here, and like at the beginning, there's so many different voices that are speaking through all this artwork. Colonizers, they try to erase two-spirited people, right? Gender equality and transgender, rights and these things, try to be crushed under the capitalist and colonialist feet, just like, people who don't want to capitalize on one another, people who don't want to exploit one another. It doesn't conform to, the colonialist, system. And so support these artists, support these organizations. They are creating alternatives And when we work together, there really is beautiful things possible. And so in just a moment, we're going to be doing our raffle for some of the things that, there's Palestine tattoos and shirts and stuff like that. But I wanted to just quickly go through and shout out everyone who is a part of this. Look at these beautiful walls you'll see up here. You have the work of Nico Gonzalez Medina. Then we also have the work of Nick Dorenzi right here. Chanta over here on this wall. Elizabeth Montalongo just spoke, and their art is over there. Sean Guerra's work is right here. Chi-Chi's vending and work is right over there. Chi-Chai, my apologies. Chi-Chai. Valeria Olguin is, I can't see the light, up here, right here. Thank you so much. Francisco Rojas is in the back. Ashley Salas's work is right here. And I missed one. Valerie Leo is right here as well. In the back we have wonderful zines from Brown Recluse zines, Dulce zines. In the front is Solda de Carne, and wet zines in the back as well. I hope you have already tried the wonderful Aguas Frisco, Acoma Coffee, and That House of Vegan, which their last call for food will be in 20 minutes at 3:30. We have Fonvi vending, we have Sister Planet vending over there, and Collis Couture is vending as well. I sure hope I didn't forget anyone, though I probably did. But we have People's Park, Poor Magazine, and Oak Church in the back. International Solidarity, local Decolonial work. And so please support all the vendors here. Please make a laugh and check out everything. Follow the Countercurrent Bay Area Instagram page. We did one of these last year. We're hoping it will be less than a year before the next one. And so we'll have many more events coming up in the future. So please support and love one another. Be good to one another. Thank you, everybody. We'll try to be ready for the raffle. So stage, we got a raffle going. Woo!
Okay, folks, I had asked people to write their names on their